Mateo seems to be somewhat confounded by my coming in late, as if I interrupted his flow of something. Judging from their rambling lectures, his class tends to be, that might be the case. I pass him the note the nurse gave me. Mateo takes it with a nod and reads it quickly. He lifts his eyebrows and gives me a kind of stern embarrassment. Well, look, but doesn't say anything. Just nods solemnly. That is correct, he is a little bitch. I shrug and he just threatened me to run along, so I naturally do. The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I have even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overly attentive. The first day I was pretty high-strung in class. Mateo finishes lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. So as you know, the festival is the one day after tomorrow. I hope everyone projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday. Please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food. Everyone burst out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. You little bitch. The remainder of his sentence buried beneath the ring of the lunch bell, and everyone starts packing their things. Mateo deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. It's crowded in the hallway. It's everyone's silhouette, they just hash them. Alright. Crowded as always. The school probably get blah blah blah. Most of the students seems to be heading down to the cafeteria. Normally I'd join the flow and grab my lunch myself, but today's different. Today I've been invited to lunch on the roof. Another location, that's where I was told to go. Fortunately, I managed to find shelter from the storm in the lee of the classroom door. Eventually the torrent subsided and I stepped attentively out into the hallway, only to be met by Emmy, who comes flouncing down the hallway like a cannonball. Hey, she looks nice. Hey, hi you! Great timing! I have super extra lunch today as promised. Let's go upstairs. Yep. I was running, I had a hard time, and now you want me to take the stairs? She's trying to kill me. Stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs, a door is complete with a missing padlock. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. That's a nice part. Himi shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Suddenly a tall dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Himi flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Hello? You scared me, Rin. Wait, isn't she? Hello? Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Himi looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Amy. Alright, let me get my slutty voice on for Ren. She's that friend of yours. Ren turned her gaze towards the cloud drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Amy. The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds until Amy lets out a tiny giggle, shrug the coincidence off. I invited you for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. They walk to the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as in other schools. It's not popular in any school. Nobody goes on the roof to eat. It's not allowed normally. Anyway, A few rundown benches and tables scatter around the edge, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolated. A small pebble covering the roof rattled beneath our feet. I peeked through the chain-link fence to take a look at the school ground and beyond. Students strolling in pair and group are around the quadrangle and the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center in the small town, feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyles of big metropolises seem so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch the bus like their life depends on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon light and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only a short year. Finding about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly. I haven't had time to think how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeps over the rooftop, making me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smogged car exhausts like it used to just a few weeks ago. Hemi settles on a bench with Rin in tow and produces one big and two small lunch boxes from her bag.
Come on, you! What are you waiting for?
She's beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. Ah, yeah, now we're getting somewhere. I seat myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all three of us fit on it. Impressive view. Henry suppresses a giggle and Henry suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Rin and hands another lunchbox to me.
Here you go, lunch as promised. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed.
Oh, sorry, that was you. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good.
Thanks. I make it myself when I can.
Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. Also a reminder of the sort of place I am right now. Will I ever get used to a sight such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it just mean I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Amy tearing into her lunchbox as if it hadn't insulted her ancestor. You seem pretty hungry. Amy looks up, mouth half full, and swallow before nodding.
My morning runs always work up an appetite. Which is great, because then I burn through my lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure.
What would happen if you'd lose it? Would you become a man that I could wrap my legs around? Grr. I barely nobly joke on my lunch, trying not to laugh.
It's a figure of speech.
Does your figure have to run in the morning too? Do you always talk like this?
Talk like what?
Like what? I think that answers my question. Yeah, never mind. So, I struggle to think of some small talk and settle on the just question. I'm not even trying to make her slutty. I mean, your text alone is doing it for me. How'd you two meet? Rin seems content to let Amy answer this question.
Someone in the housing department thought we completed each other well.
Oh, that is so mean.
So we were assigned room next to one another.
I thought I was being an asshole, but that's just, that's just plain bad. Complimented each other.
Like shoes in a suit.
Huh? Hemi giggles at my confusion.
Put us together, and we've got all our limbs, get it?
And I thought I was bad. Well, at least they're aware of their situation, and they take it lightly, so I'm okay with that. I appreciate being able to have some how's it called? Self-deprivation? Self-derision? Yeah. So I start... Sorry.
So I started helping Ren get ready in the morning, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along.
I see. So why is she with a tie if a bow is a lot easier to make and you're doing it for her? Especially since it looks like it's embedded on the cloth. Ren chooses this moment to interject. Let me get into this.
I have trouble with shirts. I like when they're huff.
Right, that seems fairly obvious.
Really?
Kind of. This isn't helping, but at least Amy seems to find the whole thing funny. That combined with the fact that Ren is genuinely curious makes me feel slightly bitter and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms, so putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm just going to stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Ren nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner.
I see.
The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Let me finish our lunch first and make the contented noise.
Ah, that was good.
As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Ren speaks up.
I'm thirsty. Is there something I could, suck and quench my thirst? Oh, I almost forgot about that, sorry.
With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Ren that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, because she likes the milk, complete with pink color schemes, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch to herself. Ren dexterously stabs a straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow, I don't think either Amy or Ren are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Ren especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing a limb or no. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure.
So, how do you like it up here?
It's quite nice, actually. I like high places. For the viewer. Ding! I'm sorry. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for lunch, too. Amy grins a 1,000-watt grin. Pleased by my response, I suppose.
No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time too, okay? I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here.
No lunch service? I don't know. Amy looked mocked offended.
Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve!
She giggles.
Well, if that's your answer, I guess Ren and I will just keep eating the lunch alone.
I'm suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen. Amy pouts. Kidding, I was just kidding. I'd love to eat lunch. I would love, I swear I would, love to eat lunch with you up here again. Good location, and the company's okay too. Amy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now. Or at least acquaintance. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs.
Ren, you didn't finish your lunch again.
I wasn't that hungry. If you don't
eat more, you're going to fade away.
Rin shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library and return a couple of books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. As I drop the book I borrowed into the return slot into the counter, Yuko suddenly pops from behind it, quite startled from the bang they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Sorry Yuko, didn't mean to startle you.
Oh no, that's fine. It happens a lot, my child. I'm used to it by now. Getting men's in behind me. Can I help you?
It's okay, I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do. And after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wandered down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelf for anything that catches my eyes. As I do, I looked over the corner where Hanako had been the last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come out of it. But she's here! Hold and behold, she's here! Surprisingly though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decided against intruding on her, like last time, and get back to finding reading material. After an indiscernible amount of time spent perusing, that's a word? Alright, perusing the aisle, I finally decided on a couple of books to get to slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over the counter, check out my books, and pop them into the bag as I walk out. By the time I leave, the main building sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of student remains, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. Feeling utterly drained, I head to my room to read the book I borrowed. There have been enough action and excitement for one day already. The first is Alice Adventures in Wonderland. You took that book of all of them? How do you not know the story of Alice Adventures in Wonderland? I know the story, of course, but I've never actually read the original book. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'll grant you it's a good reason. It's just not as trippy as I remember the story to be. Yeah, that's because it's not Disney that made the book. With the wacky characters and nonsense plot, I start thinking of myself as some kind of an Alice too. Really, haplessly tumbling down the rabbit hole into the crippled wonderland. Okay, that's a bit in poor taste. Okay, that's rather strong expression. Still, the isolated location and the overt way the school accommodates to absolutely everything is unsettling. It's like another world. I wonder why I can shake off the feeling of being an outsider like Alice, despite most everyone being so hospitable and friendly with me. Turning another page, my mind starts drifting further away from the book. It's quiet. I can hear my heartbeat thumping against the fabric of my shirt. For some reason, it makes me feel really bad, like it has since that time in the forest with Hiwanako. Like I was locked in a cage with something nasty and scary. I put the book down for a while and stare at the ceiling, taking my time to shake it off the feeling. 200 pages later. You read 200 pages? God damn it, you're pretty intense, bro. But he fell asleep after 200 pages. And I think that is the conclusion of another chapter. It's not really pointed, but, you know. And we're back in classes. So I'm gonna keep going until the next music kicks in. Don't know when that's gonna be. But it's gonna be a better mark for you guys when I start next time. And the student... Oh, wait, no, there's the music. Alright, so that's called it for us. I will be resuming this some other time. And I hope you guys will keep watching this because I'm having a lot of fun. So far, I can tell that my favorite character would have to be Emi. I'm having fun with Hanako too, but the favorite one to do voices is obviously Rin because she's so slutty. So who's you guys' favorite? Tell me in the comment section so I may have a direction to take when we get into actually choosing a girl. I have my mind set on either Emi or Hanako, but I kind of wanted your input on it, so hopefully you guys can tell me about it. Alright, thanks. Catch you guys later.